We're ready.
Okay, I'd like to open the meeting of January 24th, 2013. Let the record show that Chairman Constantino is not with us tonight. Okay, why don't we start with the approval of the minutes? We have the minutes for 1/17/2013.
I move the minutes of January 17th, 2013 on the floor to the floor for approval.
Second.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, okay. On page 3, the second paragraph, it starts out, Marge said. The very next line says there were 3 bids that came in, Best Way and Pinard, but it doesn't say who the third.
To get the third one.
Okay.
Waste management.
Yeah, Waste Management.
A big one.
Whoa.
Yeah, a little crooked, huh?
Just a little.
Can't do this.
Turn the page kind of cockeyed, that way you can read it.
The machine malfunctioned.
I don't think I can do this.
But they straighten out when you get further in. It's just the front page that's really...
Yeah. Once you get past the first page, Catherine, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
I just skipped it. Page 2, first paragraph. If you read on the left-hand side, it says the Schofields. If they at going, it should be are going. And then it continues on under Route 3.
Same page, Catherine?
Yep, same page, District 3, and left should be let. TTHEY should be them.
They.
Let them know. Do we have the letter to DOT letting them know we've done these 2 things?
What 2 things?
Our Cottage Drive.
No, not yet.
And we should let them know about the causeway as well, the same letter.
Both of those. I did notify Gus, and that letter I want to have signed by the selectmen. So.
Joe, you're going to have to answer this for me. Down on the bottom of the second page, Tilton Recycling.
Revolving fund.
Well, see if the town vote to adopt provisions, blah, 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 purpose setting up town of Tilton Recycling Revolving Fund.
Okay, I'm with you.
Raise and appropriate sum of 80, blah, blah, blah.
Yep,
And to change the solid waste pickup to a pay-as-you-throw system.
that's correct.
I thought we were still going to have a solid waste pickup.
We are.
We are.
But pay-as-you-throw is you have to pay for the bags, so whatever you throw out has to be paid for. You're buying your own tonnage. The first year, we have to,
I get it. So instead of just, it's solid waste pickup, but it's pay-as-you-throw.
that's
solid
correct.
waste
We're
pickup.
changing the method
Okay.
to the pay-as-you-throw method system.
So could we say to a pay-as-you-throw after PAYT,
Yeah,
solid waste pickup?
sure,
So people like me won't be confused.
sure. And there's some people that don't have a clue about it, so the clearer these are, maybe the better it is.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Geez, darest I hope. I said, darest I hope that this is going to pass.
A lot of it will have to, a lot of people are gonna, that show up are gonna be negative, I think. Although I'm talking it to people that I know are knowledgeable at this point.
Good.
So by presenting an effective presentation at town meeting, hopefully, educate them as to what the potential upside to this is.
The only way to go.
Really easy process,
We'd
too.
still be sharing the pickup cost. But as far as your weight, you pay your own weight, just like the commercial accounts do. And by that, you're paying it at the curb instead of paying it to the town in a tax bill.
And the more you recycle, the cheaper
Those are
it is for you.
96
That's
gallon
right, and
bins.
it's better for everybody and the environment and everything else.
Common sense.
On page 3, about, let me see, the third paragraph down where it says the board discussed the warrant article, and it should be gave their support. Thank you.
I wonder how we can more support the recycling committee at that presentation.
Come dressed as garbage bags.
We'll have the display table, and we'll have info, especially this time, we'll have a lot of
Hanging all over it.
informational stuff on the tables, what's recyclable, and
Do you think we should have just a brief letter from the Board of Selectmen supporting it?
it can't hurt a bit, but if I stand up there and say, this is enthusiastically, or pick a word,
Yeah.
endorsed by every member of the select board. And this is why.
That'll pretty much cover it.
I actually wanted to come and talk with no, that's not, when is the budget committee's hearing?
February 6th, is that the next one?
So next Wednesday,
Week, yeah, February 6th is their next meeting. And the final public hearing is the 13th.
I'd like to talk to the budget committee before the final public hearing.
That would be the 6th.
Okay. And make them a presentation. It'd be good practice for the town meeting, too. Because if I can explain it effectively to them, I should be able to do it fairly well at the meeting as well. I hope. I wish I could get this thing to... All right.
Turn your volume down.
I tried that, but I can't do it while I'm texting. That's it.
Catherine, I really like how you did the public comment section on Manville Road.
Yep.
Well, that was very nice
Nice format.
from the residents, and then I just added the comments
I like that.
that.
Yep.
Thank you.
I don't see the conversation where we kind of went through the items and determined that most of them were being taken care of, and that we had 2 left over that were not road issues, but the selectmen would address, which was the yard sale, and I think the mailboxes, wasn't it?
The yard sale was in there. I don't believe the mailboxes, but the yard sale is. Going to have Chief Cormier check into it. That's in there. I think a couple of times. But I will add the mailbox, because I thought that was just like an after discussion.
Well, we went through kind of the list from their document and kind of resolved them as we went. And those were the only 2 items that were left.
On page... Page 5, where it has comment. It says restricting people's ability to have a yard sale seems to be a slippery slope. Chair Constantino will ask Chief Cormier to check into this.
Here's the items that are listed on the thing. Maintain safe travel on Manville following snow and rain is to prevent skating rink.
I have that too.
Remedy proper sight distance at the intersection of Laconia Road and Manville Road, especially when yard sales occur. Maintain full travel width at the railroad crossing, no funnel effect. At the crossing at the corner, it was something about talking to the railroad, wasn't it? DOT Railroad Division?
No.
As the crossing at the corner is a no-salt road, it can be treacherous navigating through this area. Next was remedy the pond ice buildups located in front of the large pine trees, and then maintain a full travel width at the intersection of Manville, Andrews, Crystal, where Crystal Lane meets the property. And Dennis was going to look into, because Peter Fogg said somebody was coming out after every storm and putting straight salt on the area down there by 3M, and Dennis informed him that this town wasn't doing that, but he was going to look in to find out who was doing it.
Yeah, I don't see it. I read it off purposely so that there would be resolution, how we were going to solve it. We talked about what we'd do at the entrance, where we'd run a sand and salt mixture, et cetera, et cetera. And then the 2 things that were left unresolved was were the yard sale issues, and I believe the mailboxes. But I think that should be in there just because we really had resolution that night. We had a plan.
Okay, I'll go in.
If you could add that, that would be great. And it was I who was reading it off
Okay.
in between crunching carrots.
Is there any more corrections?
Yeah, page 6, 6th line down from the top. Problem is 10. It's not 10, it should be in the additional stress.
Oh, must be in.
Yeah,
The 6th line down?
yep. On the 9th line, you go halfway in and it says, Dennis said proposal, should be the proposal for a new trench. And I would move that we accept the minutes of January 17th, 2013 as corrected.
I have another correction.
All right.
Okay?
On 8, the unit that was inspected was less than 650 square feet, and Selectman Dawson closed it down. All true. but I actually closed it down for health violations, not because it was less than 650 square feet. Al would have had to close it for that reason.
Closed it down for health reasons, right?
Yep, and Selectman Dawson closed it down for health reasons. It was an order to vacate.
So my motion stands.
My second stands.
Okay, if there's no more conversation, all those in favor?
Yes?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. All right. Okay, we're ready for the town administrator.
These are for the non-public.
Okay.
Did you want to go right to warrant articles since Donna's here? Okay, first of all, I got a response from DRA on a recycling warrant article, and I was correct. We only have to budget for as many months of the contract. So it starts in June,
Yep.
so that's 7 months, not 6 months.
Okay.
Correct?
Yep.
So the amount is $50,750. And then this is basically the same draft number 1 I gave you last, well, 3 meetings ago. Meetings ago? It was January 3rd. Where I just took what was on the warrant in 2012 and use this as our first mark. So at least we know what we appropriated.
Was it done in the article?
But the amount is going to be different. Wait until, because they're just, these are works in progress.
listed on here? or-
Yes, so this will be this amount. $57.50. This is exactly what we've done wrong.
So,
Okay. This is the working document, we'll go through and we'll mark up what they
other than that, the warrant article is written past muster?
Yes, that's what they heard, she said.
Yes, well, I just wanted to make it, that's what I,
They removed the authorize the boss to from the first sentence, otherwise it is fine. Yes, the amount needed for the appropriation is, it's 7 months. When I emailed her, I put, the contract is, begins June 1st through May 31st, so we'll only be funding 7 months, is $7,250 a month.
Well, now, we're going to be marking this up.
So basically what she's saying is if you want to go ahead and raise the 87,000,
no, I would rather ask for just what we're gonna need.
okay, but do you think by January we're going to have enough money in that revolving fund? Because that 87,000 isn't going to lapse.
When does ordinary, well, no, we have to, when do we have to cover till March?
Until March, so that would be
3 more months.
3 more months.
So whatever that figure is the...
No, not March, it would be until May.
May
Your contract
1st?
is for a year.
No, I understand that. What I'm saying is, when we approve the budget for the following year, if we don't have enough money, we can ask for the money
Oh,
on
for the
that line.
2014 town meeting?
That's correct.
Yes,
Yeah, so we only need to cover up to that point.
yeah, you want to add 3 months.
So it would be 3 months, which would be 10 months worth of money, not 12.
Right.
Okay, Dennis wanted 100,000 for the roads.
Yes.
Now,
100,000 instead of 60.
Well, that's what he's asking for.
Right.
that's for our town roads,
Right.
correct? How much is in that revolving fund now?
200 and something?
Yes, in our budget books, there is, which I didn't bring mine up, in our budget packet. I can run down and get it. Tim gave us an update on what's in the trust funds.
Yes.
I think it's the one from 12/20. The 12/20 or the one from 1/8, dated 1/8. Almost grabbed that folder on my way up.
Yeah, mine's in the car, but the rest of it. I won't need.
Well, the other thing, too, is we can, did we have a trust fund report in the,
Yes, he gave us the trust fund.
no, in the last year's annual report?
Probably. There's one right there. The only reason I ask is, we keep putting that,
It's got over 200,000 in it.
I know, and there's no interest. Literally no interest. What is it, like 2%? That's gaining? When you get a project that's, getting to be a $500,000 project, oh, this is projected revenue. You really should be thinking about bonding it. In which case, why would you keep chucking that money into capital reserve account where it gains no interest, literally? And if you left it in the hands of the taxpayers, they can do much more with it and much higher interest-bearing debt. Credit cards, mortgages.
Makes sense.
Because, you see what I mean? It's just a better use of that money. I can see chucking away.
Even if we have
Not
to
gonna
borrow money to bond, it'll be cheaper than credit card, more.
Bond is usually what?
2.5,
4?
3,
Well, our,
depending.
was the recent refunding he just did through the bond bank.
That was great. That was,
Yeah. But
that was low.
That was roll low.
3?
Yeah, 3, it's around 3.
So that's all I'm saying. I can see capital reserves. We're going to buy a truck. It's going to cost us $60,000.
Right.
So we're going to buy that in 3 years.
Right.
$30,000 is not much of a impact on the tax rate. But you start talking 100,000 increments, that's an impact.
Especially to sit in a bank account.
Doing
I like
nothing.
having the money, but
It's doing nothing.
that's true.
If it was gaining interest.
So what's your recommendation?
Heck, if we left it in the general fund, we'd make more interest on it than in the capital reserve.
Because you can always take it from the general fund.
Well, just let it go into the unreserved,
Well, Samberton just bonded all their road work.
That was the Class 2 State Aid Road project, though.
Yeah, but
Which absolutely makes sense, because you would do a large project and you would bond that amount.
When you're talking 1.1 million or whatever it is that Samberton had to come up with, that a bond is the only way to go.
For me, when you're going to, and I would think that we would, I don't know how many miles of roads he can do in a year. That was one of the conversations I wanted to have with him. How many miles of our roads can you do in a year? Or sidewalks. How many feet of sidewalk can you do?
So what's your recommendation?
Have a conversation with Dennis.
Well, plus you can, whatever amount you bond, you say when that authorization to bond will lapse. So it's not like you've got to run out and borrow the whole amount.
Yeah.
Right.
You can
5
borrow in
years.
increments. And I think when they changed the law, they said it would just the authorization would automatically lapse in 5 years if you didn't stipulate at the time of the warrant article when you wanted it to lapse. So you can have this bonding authority out there, and as you do your roads, and you just
Right.
Then
Well, you-
borrow
we
the money
actually-
and pay for it.
Because when you do a project like that, it's really called a band. You know, it's like when you build a house, you get those, and then when you're finally done and you know your final cost, then you go out and bond it. It just, to me, it seems a better use of taxpayers' dollars. It's the way I would want to use my own money. You know what I mean?
Plus, when it comes time to make those interest payments in the future, you'll have a larger tax base that you didn't have, because we are growing every year.
Right.
Right.
Albeit it's not a
More
great
commercial
percentage.
properties.
So do you want to have a conversation with Dennis?
I think we need to talk to Dennis.
So how many miles of roads and sidewalks?
Yeah. What can he realistically do?
I'm not seeing it in here, Joyce, as far as what he's got.
And the balances in the trust funds?
Well,
Because the trustee of trust funds
Good
have to
evening,
file a
sir.
report by law.
yeah, they did, but most of the stuff...
But ours aren't in there?
Oh, they're in here. They have a report in here, but it's all school stuff.
They don't have ours in there?
Yeah, it's not in there. Oops,
That's fine.
it's an oops. Oh. It's an oops, don't look. I forgot.
Yeah.
I noticed it 2 weeks ago. It's not in there.
Thanks.
I forgot, I am so
Where's
sorry.
that search going?
I was going...
I forgot. I so forgot. Because I asked him, I'm like,
You can fill one out.
oops. So that's my feeling about
That makes sense.
that.
Yeah, it does.
Makes perfect sense.
You know, and I would have that conversation with Tim and Dennis,
Yeah.
you know.
Or maybe we should invite Dennis to, say, one day next week, have a sit-down and just go over this stuff so we have a better idea.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Do we want to set a date?
Yeah. Oh, my calendar is really cold.
Article 12 we discussed, right?
Yes.
I signed a petition for the article. So the fire district records their public meetings.
Sure. Guess so.
Make them lax.
Anything for you?
So, let me see. Today's the 24th, so wow, we're getting into February already.
It's a good month, that February.
Yeah.
Wonderful month. Great people.
Great people, great people.
Anybody we know?
Couple.
I'm not up this year, so should I run against you?
I know. You had me so befuddled. I was telling that joke to people.
I already signed one of these. Yeah.
Okay, so,
So I'll leave this
yeah,
in,
we're trying to...
but we're going to leave it a blank for the amount.
Yeah, let's leave it blank until we're gonna invite Dennis and Tim and you, and we'll all sit down one day next week and discuss, you know, as far as his doing roads and stuff, what if, you know, toss around the idea of bonding instead of asking for monies each year.
Joe, how's your week?
You know, it's
What day's
one
good
thing
for you?
to ask to have a certain amount in
Next
this
week?
account for those emergencies that come up during the year.
Phone Monday.
You know, like a drainage
Oh, that-
area
Thursday is
collapses,
bad
or
unless
if
it's
something
early.
happens that they've got to get right out and fix it.
Yeah, I'm not good
But if he
Thursday.
knows he's gonna be doing roads...
clear
and
Wednesday.
he's got a price on it, then, you know,
Tuesday.
he's better off bonding.
About
So,
Wednesday, 11:30.
what would be good time
I'm good
for you
Monday.
guys next week? What
I'm
day?
throwing out Wednesday at 11:30.
Wednesday at 11:30, that's the 30th? Sounds good to me.
We'll notify Johanna tomorrow, please.
Johanna.
That we're going to be upstairs.
Oh, I'm thinking, what has she got to do with talking to Dennis about his budget?
Good call, because my brain did the same thing.
But it's not going to be a non-public thing, so,
No, but
Yeah,
she
but
still
she'd like to
needs
be
to know
notified.
that we're
yeah,
going to be up here
yep.
making
good
noise.
point. Okay,
Very good
meeting.
call.
And
So So, Sandy, do you want me to just start right from Article 10?
Yep.
I haven't written the letter to Northfield Selectmen yet. So,
So we don't know if they're going to vote on it yet?
if they're going to put any money in, the original estimate for engineering we had was 30,000. We only have 15 in our account.
They denied it last year, so.
But I think we should try asking them again, and if they say no, then have them, we can do a petition warrant article.
Well, time's running out.
They're due the 5th. Petition warrant articles.
Yeah, so time's running out.
So what we're going to petition for is for
We've
the
gotta get-
15,000.
My suggestion is, better get the petition warrant article filled out, written out, and signed.
Okay.
Start getting signatures.
All right, but the petition warrant article is going to be to raise and appropriate $15,000. They wouldn't even have to put it in a capital reserve fund, they could just appropriate it, because we could go ahead and start the engineering study, because we
We
have the
already got,
money.
we already have 15, 50 makes 30, we already got it.
Yep.
So just petition for that appropriation.
Right.
And we're only going to spend whatever we jointly get.
Yep.
Okay, so that will be the petition.
Basically, we can't count on these guys for the 15,000.
We're
Not
running
until
out
they
of,
vote for it.
This takes it to the people, but again, if the Northfield Selectmen vote, don't recommend it, it's dead.
That's what I'm saying.
not
now.
necessarily.
If it's a petition warrant article, there'll be a lot of talk about it at the town meeting. So if there's proponents of the island over there, and that's hey, if we don't do this, the island's going to wash away, and it's and talk to his people.
Is their town meeting
Same as we'll
typically,
do.
is their deliberative
Did.
session postponed to the following Saturday like ours is?
Right, but theirs starts at 10, ours starts at 8. But Dennis will be there.
We're going to have somebody speak to it.
Nobody really has standing unless they're a Northfield resident, though. So if Dennis is willing,
You need backup, I think. We'd have to have, I think, a group of 2 or 3 prominent Northfield people. Okay. Ooh, Conservation Commission. Who's on the Conservation Commission over there?
Eliza Condi.
Yeah, Eliza is.
That's good, yeah, those are,
Yeah, get the Conservation Commission involved.
Are you saying petition warrant article for Article 10 in Tilton?
No, Northfield.
well, Joy Tilton is a
You wanna
Northfield
try to get one
resident.
submitted to Northfield.
Yep.
So that would help.
because we did
See if we
ours
can
last year, and it didn't pass over there last year, so.
I'm familiar with that, but I'm just not confused.
I just think what we should do, though, is ask the selectmen first,
Oh, that's fine.
just to say, will you put this on? If they say no, then
thank
say,
you.
well, because we'll gladly do a petition, or do you want us, just think about how would you like it if someone from there put up a petition article,
True enough.
tell us
Well, they do.
out first.
Pines Community Center.
They do all the time.
Yeah.
Was that the selectmen, or was that the people from the Pines Community Center?
That's the users of the Pine Community Center.
Oh, you're saying from the board, yeah, but
I just would rather ask first and just say, if you'd like, we'd be more than happy to get a petition going.
There you
well,
go.
we're running out of time.
Well, I can call, I'll call them. I'll call
Yeah.
the
As
select
long as we do it in a timely manner.
Yep.
and say,
I mean, I dare say, when's the 5th? Beginning of the following week?
a week from Tuesday.
Yep,
Okay.
2 Tuesdays.
So you'd have next weekend. But that's cutting it short.
Well, I can go to the dump
All
on
right.
Saturday.
Okay,
Always run into people there.
that's a plan.
Okay, so I just want to make sure I know what we're asking for, which is their 15,000.
Correct.
Okay,
As their half,
so we can get going on the,
as their half of the engineering cost.
Right.
I'd make sure that was in there.
okay.
And they know
highway-
they're not paying 100%.
Right. Okay, highway equipment, that's the same amount we've been putting in every year, and that's what Dennis asked for.
Yep.
Yep.
I think that was good.
took care of 12 already. The Parks Commission, do they want to do the 5,000 again?
And would you refresh my memory exactly what the recreational facilities fund encompasses? Where did that money go?
They want to establish a baseball, softball field in
At
the northwest
132?
corner.
Do they know how much that's anticipated to cost?
Well, the estimates they have are old, but it's a little less than that, and this will also cover some expense to level the field, to spread the additional loam.
And they'll be reseeded? Be nice to have some real grass over there.
Yeah, because this is, they have monies in there, but this will help to keep the fund from being depleted for that project.
Is there another project planned beyond that?
No, one at a time. They're so busy maintaining the parks that
I understand that, for sure.
one at a time.
Okay, Article 14, again, I would need to see what the amount is in our fund because we've delayed our update until 2014, so I should look and see what it's going to cost in 2014, see how much we have in there.
Right.
And then we always want to leave a little bit in there to keep for the next
Yep.
4 year.
So we have to verify the numbers on that one.
Right, so that may be less.
Right.
And then the Lake Improvement Maintenance Capital Reserve Fund, I know we've been putting the money in there. I don't know if anything's been being withdrawn from it.
I was gonna, that was my question.
The Silver Lake Association, I was in touch with them last year, and they said they were going to make, it's a spring project, and they were going to make application for the spring.
Okay.
They
Now,
actually
exact-
bought a device to vacuum it off. I was at the Conservation Commission when they came before them, because they're agents for the fund, asking for some of these monies to help with that. And they had bought a pontoon boat, I believe,
They have a pontoon boat.
so that they can go out, and
That's great.
the Silver Lake is bad.
Let's continue to fund it.
It's getting really bad in spots.
Continue to
It's,
fund it.
Last time I kayaked in it, I mean, it was coming up with my paddle.
the outgo in front of the dam and the exit going down the river is completely choked out all around the island.
I know my right-of-way is just full.
Yeah,
You know how you were saying?
the lagoon.
If you all get a chance, there's a wonderful article in this week's Town and City about the Highway Fund. Did you read all that? And it says everything you've been saying, Catherine. But one of the other things I learned is, not only has the state been grabbing money from L-CHIP and the Highway Fund, they also took away the money, how boat registrations, a certain
Right.
percent go towards this
Yep.
milfoil? They
Gone.
grabbed that too, it's gone.
Gone.
Yep.
So they still have the fee, but the problem is not
Right.
being addressed at all.
Right, so I think we want,
Thanks, the state.
They're using
And now
it
they
for-
want to put a tax on beer and gas, go figure.
Yeah.
well, gas we're for, remember? We went down a couple years ago and said we support increase on the gas tax as long as it goes.
I only support an increase on the gas tax, and I told our representatives if that money is dedicated to the roadways.
Right.
Well, that's what's being proposed.
If they,
Except they'll
if they
put it-
snag it away, and they put it in the fund, and it's like, oh yeah, whatever.
But that's what they're doing. And when they say yes, they're thinking, okay, we'll put it in the Highway Trust Fund. And then they use it for things that are so loosely related to highways and roads, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane.
Where is it? Quick.
I'm still trying to get them to respond to me on exactly how much money
Catherine,
goes into the fund and where it goes.
your gas tax at work.
Driving towards zero. $0.
Now, we're already beyond that.
All right.
I had told you, Joyce, that I had written out a warrant article, and I
Yes.
apologize, I've been so busy as health officer, the selectman part of me hasn't had time.
I like this effect.
I have it in the computer, and I will send it down to you. This is for the energy audit we got. So we really didn't have time to, we listened to them, and we really didn't act on it. And we never took it up again, because we've been so busy, I don't have to tell you that. But I thought that putting it as a warrant article, rather than just throwing it into the budget, would be a good way, because we don't have to spend the monies and do this. It's an option.
Yeah.
And truly
Well,
would give the voters.
it'll pay for itself in 3.5 years.
True. But it usually, it will give the votors the opportunity to say
smart
yea or
option.
nay.
Right.
Just a question now, because it's been a while since, this was, oh God, I can't remember the name of the company.
J.P. Carter?
J.P. Carter.
Josh Carter?
When he brought that, his proposal didn't have where they were just going to have fewer light bulbs. Because remember the one Light Tech did back in 2009?
Yeah.
This was actually
That's
changing
how it's going to
fixtures.
reduce, is just less light.
Right, this is not going to reduce the light.
Okay, good.
Now, the lumens are the same or greater.
Yep.
The energy efficient composition of the bulbs and the fixtures is what will
Right.
save us money.
We have gotten to that point where with the other one, the technology hadn't gotten there yet, that's what I understand.
Right.
Excuse me.
So energy efficient light fixtures and bulbs, or light fixture bulbs?
Well, it's light
Wanna
fixtures
insert
and bulbs.
And bulbs. Okay.
That's why the afterthought. But I have the whole packet here, his proposal, if you don't.
I think we only got the one packet, remember? Remember, it was in a nice plastic cover and everything?
Oh, I don't have that one, I only have what he handed us out. So maybe you have more than I do.
All town buildings, or?
It says, "To see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $17,000 for labor and materials to retrofit the Tilton Town Hall, Tilton Public Works Garage, and the Tilton Police Department building with new energy-efficient light fixtures and bulbs, which will save the town an estimated $5,508 per year."
Proposed to put initials.
Right.
All right.
We need to contact him to see if it's still a valid
Yes.
proposal, the incentives and the cost.
Okay.
The only question I have, if we could just go back to the recycling warrant article, is in Shelley's cover email, she said that once the money goes in the revolving fund, it doesn't lapse, so we could go ahead and raise the full 87 and put it in there. But what Joe is suggesting is that by March of 2014, we'll know pretty much what the inflow and outflow is going to be.
And in that time frame, we should be able to raise enough money for 2 months' worth of the transportation.
Yeah, but then you'll have another whole year of 87,000. Will actually be more for the next year. Will we have enough money in that revolving fund to pay for
For all of it, I don't know
Well,
about.
for the- at least
In the
for the-
second year, in the third year, we will.
curbside part of it?
But by the time we get to the end of this year, once we've implemented, there might be some in there.
There will be 7 months' worth of bag sales, in
We hope.
addition to the
So-
50,000 or whatever it turns out.
I
They
agree
have
with
to, they have to buy the bags, that's the whole concept. The money will exist, because they have to buy the bags.
Right, but the money the bag sales that's going in there, do you anticipate that it's going to be a sufficient amount is going to be generated to pay the annual contract?
Ultimately, yes.
All right.
Yes, I certainly do.
Then we should go for the 87,000 then.
I've got that figure, the anticipated monies. It'll pay for the transportation and part of the weight at the incinerator as well.
It'll be easier to pass. a
Oh,
half the amount.
it will pay for itself ultimately if we get to a certain point, but the people who produce the garbage, pay the freight for that garbage. And if you recycle, you don't pay as high a freight. Because I go out and I see 5 garbage cans. And what I know to be wet, sloppy garbage, and I know that we're paying $66.80 a ton, $110 a ton for this stuff to be disposed of. And I hate to subsidize that. I'll pay for mine, but why would I pay for that too? I wouldn't do that, not even now.
Well, what I would suggest, if it's all right with the board, is I had given Tim your spreadsheet. I'm sure he hasn't had a chance to look at it yet.
I'm sure he hasn't.
I just want to make sure that we're going to have enough money to pay that collection contract. So we'll have him just,
Figure out 10 months of $87,000, and we'll have the amount of money to pay for the next 2 months in the fund.
in the fund.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the numbers will change for the following year, and by the third year, we should be paying for all of that transportation in addition to some of the, either the transportation for MSW or the incineration fees.
Because we get some monies from the recycling itself.
Yeah, right now, we get some money from the recycling that we do, depending on what the market for recyclables is.
Right.
We might realize a profit on that material as well. That's a possibility. We might end up paying sometimes, but not $110 a ton.
Okay.
Is this
$20?
Attached?
Yes.
The one that she sent back?
Yes, but we just need to decide on what amount.
So there's an there's an avoidance cost to this as well. And I have those figures for the presentation.
When I figured the 7 months of that first year's contract, that we can at least be paying monthly until such time as we recoup the funds, because once the money's in this revolving fund, we shouldn't have to come ask the general fund for another appropriation.
No,
Right.
that's correct. And we might even cut the tax lines for pickup of MSW or the incineration fees that we would project.
That would be nice.
We also should have a warrant article in here to raise and appropriate monies to fix the lot at 51, well, besides 51 Business Park Drive for our snow dump.
Yeah.
Because we've
You're
discovered,
absolutely
Joe and
right.
I have discovered that there's really no special
No,
ladder or anything we need
Nope.
to have.
Right.
but we should research it just in case, just because the state hasn't caught up to it yet doesn't mean that it's going to, any like landfill, and we're filling that land with snow, which has
Right.
sodium in it, should have some sort of liner or membrane to help filter that
There
out,
are other
Or at least a
states,
big sand pot, you know.
there are other states
percolate down through.
that do require
If we're going to do
very
this,
special things.
if we're going to do this, best practice seems like the way to go with the construction of it.
But we should get contractors over there in the next week to look at it, to give us price for stumping,
Yeah.
leveling, bringing in, we should put sand in there, create a specific area
Yeah.
and put some sand in there.
Do we have to go through any plan, we don't have to technically go through any planning board, conservation committee, or any of that, right?
No, but when we're doing it.
Technically.
We definitely
should.
want. Yeah, we
Well,
definitely
it's a
want the
use.
Conservation Committee on board.
Yes.
And we definitely need to notify the planning board of what we're doing with the property.
But you're also, you're going to be working over an aquifer.
So,
It is in the aquifer district, but
Yes,
there's
yeah.
still no rules that we can find.
no,
Did you read the zoning regulations regarding stormwater and what is in for the aquifer area? There is rules about it.
Is this part of the tri-town thing that Tilton, Northfield, and
Well,
Belmont did?
we
there's,
adopted,
yeah,
And put it in the ordinance?
there's, yeah, I can't remember what exactly is in the ordinance, but Nevertheless.
Sitting over here somewhere. Oh, you have the Tilton zoning over
We're
there?
between a rock and a hard place. I moved everything over there because of the meter.
Yeah,
It was
okay.
jumbled up there. So I put it over there on the selectmen's desks. This is going to sound harsh, but regardless of whether it's allowed or not,
Talk
we don't have
about
another choice.
What else?
What do you got next, Joyce? We'll come back to it.
You had your public hearing last night
Yes,
on your proposed zoning changes,
that was Tuesday night.
Tuesday night.
Yeah.
And so is the planning board recommending any changes?
Yes, the zoning that we had a public hearing on will be on the ballot. As far as the other question regarding the impact fees, the board delayed that because they didn't have a full board, but I think I'm going to send the board members a letter or an email, because we can't wait to the next meeting. The warrant articles will be due, and either we have to notify Lakes Region Planning that no, we don't want the methodology for highways, or they do want to have it, but they have got to let us know, because if we end up having to put something on the ballot at all, we need to know now, not...
Yeah, because I know Cindy's has a deadline that she has to
Yes.
get her.
So what I'll do is, when I get home tonight, I was going to format an email, describe everything that we found out from our meeting with Mike Izzard and Dan Crean, send it to the board members and say, although I know you wanted to wait till next meeting, we're running out of time, so I need an answer so that we can let Lakes Region Planning know which direction we're going. So I will get that out tonight. Now, I will CC you on it so you have a copy.
Okay. So any other warrant articles that you want to have drafted?
Can't think any right off the feet.
The snow dump is the biggest.
Are we going to either do a warrant article, or did we just enlarge our budget for work on the town hall?
We have 25,000 in there. We only need 3,000 to 4,000, 4,000 max for any, our regular maintenance things, our alarm
Right.
contracts, and if something breaks. So you've got $21,000 in there.
What about those portable walls and making some kind of an office upstairs for Heather?
Oh, well, that's what you need to decide what you want to do.
Yes, we should entertain that.
I think we need to give her more space. I mean, if we did nothing else more than what sewer has, and get some of those portable walls and just mark off an area for her, and so that she has some place that she can sit with her people, and,
Put it right there.
yeah, we'll put her right over here, and just,
Has to be handicapped accessible.
that way she's got
With the elevator?
because if we put her up there, then it's a problem anytime she's got somebody that can't negotiate stairs. She'd have to constantly be coming down or whatever.
We gotta put a ramp in.
But I don't have any idea what these units cost. We have to get a price on
Where's
it.
Heather in again? Is it Thursday next week?
She was in Tuesday
Yes,
this week.
she'll be in Thursday.
That's what I thought I saw.
Starting at
I don't think it'd be more than $10,000 to do something like that.
Yeah, I would think 10,000 would be plenty.
More
We're
than
not
plenty.
building a room.
Well, we have an estimate to redo this,
To redo that.
which would also give, it's twofold, that would give us a place for non-publics, or like the fire district was up here having a non-public, or they were having an attorney-client,
Yeah.
which does not disturb our sewer commissioner administrator.
Right, but I think Heather doesn't want to be, she wants to be in the open.
Right, and I said that I would move health officer in there, and she could be here. Because I don't have a problem.
Well, do you want me to price out the walls for that whole area? Because even that way, too, that'll give you privacy until you move
Well-
up on the stage.
If we gave her walls to the whole area, we could have a small table, or just take all the stuff off the top of those desks.
Right.
But you could put a table there.
I mean, we've got plenty of furniture for creating offices,
Yeah.
so
Plenty.
all we need is walls. Walls.
And you would have room to move those desks.
Yeah,
Those desks and...
Up here.
The file cabinets, move those up there?
yeah. But that, I mean, she doesn't need a super huge office, but she needs one a little bit bigger than that closet she's in right now.
Yeah, at least those three. I don't think there's anything in that one on facing out.
Conservation Commission, isn't it?
That lateral is, okay, because I thought the stand-up and the metal one were Parks and
The
Conservation.
ones on this side.
Our commissioner is the first one by the stairs.
The ones on this side, facing this direction, are
Selectmen.
selectmen, and there's a lot of stuff in there from
Life
police
safety.
plans.
Doesn't Bernie have file cabinets?
This is
They're
downstairs.
downstairs.
He wants to stay downstairs.
I don't blame
I
him.
know that one is empty.
So I would suggest we put a warrant article in for doing this.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, we need to
And
do
then-
that if we're going to, otherwise it means waiting
Yes.
another
All
year.
right, and that's on the number, how do you want to word that? To see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate, I think you said it was 12,300?
I'd make it 14.
14,000?
Yep. No, it's 12,300, I'd make it 13. Which will give you money to buy these for this area.
So how much?
13,000. But I would price those out, Joyce.
Yeah. So that you know for sure what it's going to cost.
In your spare time.
Okay.
Yeah, in your spare time. I'm
I'm going to get those minutes done,
And I wouldn't,
and I've got to get the
I don't think it'd be that
quarterly
expensive, so
report in,
I wouldn't
too.
either.
they're gonna be all right.
Gonna be these type of walls?
Yes.
Not just the divider, the cubicle
Yeah.
dividers.
Right there.
But it would, go down and it would give her privacy, and whoever she was visiting with, you wouldn't be able to see them. You'd be going in, so
I
that,
think we might be able to do that within our operating budget, but we'll
I think
see.
so.
yeah, okay.
But we also wanted to put a second ingress and egress here for this area,
Yeah,
through that closet.
yeah.
I don't know how that would work.
Through the closet, why not just go in right here? We have the stairs that were over here. You use that stairwell over there, and the stairs that we have that were here, that we put up
You
there,
don't want to use those stairs. They're not attached.
well,
We had to periodically push them against them. Somebody had to come out of there quick.
so why can't we attach them?
I would have them there, so you walk out directly on the floor and there's no stairs in the way.
There, somewhere back there is a set of stairs.
Oh, they're
It's got
they're
wall
up there.
It's in there.
Oh, in there?
Yeah,
And in the estimate, I asked them to level that.
yeah.
Oh, so you can open that up and open those stairs up in there?
No.
I think the,
Before the lift, there
The
were
lift
two
is in the
ingresses and egresses.
Yep.
And if you go up there and go in the far room, the stairs going down to what is now a studded wall,
Yep.
for that, are still
Yeah.
there.
yeah.
So what I asked them to include in their price for doing this was to level that, so that office space would have the full
okay.
use of the square footage.
Okay. And then the other stairs to get up there then would be out here.
In this closet here, you could build a stair so that they start halfway, so when you walk out through here, there's nothing protruding into the room, you just walk out into the room.
Okay, so
Like these.
that stairwell then would be constructed where that wall is there.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah.
The angle wall.
Move the outlet over, and
Yeah.
you would walk down some stairs. You could have the door up
Simple
there,
enough.
Yeah,
so that was open.
that way you
So you
would,
wouldn't have to have anything up front here, okay.
yeah.
Right, so there would be no obstruction in this room.
All right.
Okay, so anyway, we need to get the numbers on that so we can make that a warrant.
Okay, so include,
Yeah.
Rod just came back from Florida, so I'll call him over the weekend.
all right. Anything else for warrant articles for now?
I'm not. How are we now on the side of this building? As far as,
I've called Knut a couple times, asked him for an estimate. You were going to call him? Did he ever get in touch with you?
Last time I saw him, it wasn't in a situation where we could have that conversation. I would call Canute.
Now, he would also do the digging out in the center and putting in the drainage pipe
Right here?
on the side.
Okay. Town hall. We'll call him. The only other warrant article, it says health officer, I've written 2 ordinances. I'm almost done with them. If I stop getting calls Monday for heat and rodents and waking ceilings, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, I should be able to finish them. One of
And
them-
those have to go to the town, or the selectmen can adopt them?
One of them has to go through the legislative body, the other one does not have to be a warrant article. The Board of Selectmen can adopt it.
Okay, so that would be the,
The theory always has been that it has more punch, but we can adopt it. We could, my thought was, especially with the littering one, we could adopt it as Board of Selectmen,
Right.
tweak it through the summer,
Yep.
and bring it to the legislative body next year.
your other one on the housing, you want to do that?
The one on the housing has to go through the legislative body.
Okay, so that would be a
That's
warrant
very
article.
specific.
There's no monies involved, but it's still, it'd be better, would be more,
There would be no raise in appropriating,
right.
no, but there's fees involved in it that we would collect as revenue.
Okay, so once those are written, though, we'd send those to Paul Sanderson to review our warrant.
All right?
Okay, Ernie's update.
Yes, do you know why they quit moving?
Yes, the one trail, there's 2 piles on the ground. One is non-asbestos containing material, and the other one is asbestos containing material. He's taken all the metal out. The one that's loaded up now, because that has some PCBs in it, he's waiting to have Turnkey sign off on what's going in there. So, and we thought he was going to do that this week, but nothing's happened yet. So there's just that one little wall that needs to be taken down. That will be put, segregated into those 2 piles that are on the ground. And Judd Newcomb, who works with Crederi Associates, said to get that finished up, you said you're looking at maybe 10 hours work, and the contractor hopes to be done by January 31st.
Nice.
Okay.
I can handle that.
Just a quick one. Remember last year, the Winnisquam Regional Middle School, they have their Kids That Care program that Chris Hampy is the mentor, is the sponsor of, and they would like to put out the boxes, bins at the town hall again to collect food for pets, and then then they take it to the animal shelters.
Sounds
So is that okay if we do that?
Yep.
Okay, plowing park memo. Plowing and park. What's this one?
What kind of food do they take? Dry food, canned food, any food?
Are they collecting kitty litter as well?
Kitty litter? Toys?
Toys?
Well, where's that petition?
Oh, there's one in here.
Oh, you have that, the petition?
It's in the sign folder. Oh, no, it's in the FYI folder here.
I thought I made copies of it.
Here it is.
You made copies.
I'm sorry?
You said you made copies.
I thought I did.
Well, that was the only one that was over here, so.
This is the one on the trash that I want to do next. Hold on, maybe this is it here. Oh, here it is, sorry. I had my trash one.
Top of it.
Here. We thought you'd probably want to see the names of the people.
Thank you.
Pat was made aware of this. Kathleen, you have a copy,
This is a petition?
Well, it's a request.
Request.
It's a petition in the terms of a request.
I was gonna say, there's no addresses on here that,
Right.
No, well, some of these names are not citizens or tax,
The ones that are
registered
dark
voters.
are the only ones that are residents.
Yeah, I would like to read this into the record before we talk about it.
yeah.
Okay, this is a petition request, if you would call it that the town received, and it came in on the 23rd, yesterday?
Yep.
Okay. It says, "To whom it may concern, we, the undersigned taxpayers of the town of Tilton, hereby inform the town that a substantial number of parking places on Main Street in the downtown district of town remain unplowed after several storms and through the critical Christmas shopping season. These spaces are along the Winnipesaukee River on Main Street from Park to Chestnut Street. In prior years, these spaces were maintained by the town, but have not been maintained at all for at least the last 3 years since the spaces were made 2-hour parking only, to the detriment of our businesses and our properties. Our taxes continue to go up, but the services we receive and the revenue we can generate to pay these taxes keeps diminishing. Parking continues to be critical downtown. We urge you to recommend plowing and snow removal of the spaces on Main Street and continue through the entire season." And then there's several signatures on it, some that are taxpayers and registered voters in our town and some that are not. I'm assuming that most of the people that signed this have businesses up in that area.
You know, I have to say, in my 12 years as selectman, we've never plowed those spaces.
What spaces are we talking about?
Along the
Along the
Winnipesaukee
By the
River.
lights.
Up there,
Between Park Street,
Why not? Whose parking places own, yeah, I know one.
they're the town of Tilton's.
That's where Dennis would store the snow until it can be taken away.
I've never seen them plowed.
We've never, they're not heavily used spaces.
No.
This is the first request since I've been a selectman to plow them. And I'm wondering why
right,
this wasn't made 6 years ago.
yeah, I know.
When we did our downtown
When we,
parking plans.
when we finished Riverfront Park and they were up and going business.
Are we in the same town? Because they said the taxes keep going up. Are we in the same town?
Apparently,
Are we in the same town? That's all I want to know.
Well, maybe their entire tax burden goes up.
I didn't think it did, though.
Not the town part of it.
The town part didn't, but I think the school, fire, and county did, didn't they?
School did.
The state did too, I think.
They-
State
fire
school
did.
tax.
Overall.
The overall tax rate,
Oh, it
though,
actually did not go up.
no, it hasn't gone up.
But I think.
3 years.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, we have a resident or a business proposal in front of us, they'd like us to plow it.
Right.
What are I mean, is it real costly to plow those if there is apparently a need?
Well-
Dennis said it's not a problem.
But for me, we have people that have come before us to ask us to plow sidewalks in other areas of the town. Because when you add them all up, this one specific spot is, it's a pretty straight shot, plow it in, plow it, park it there. But without really, really good reason, and I'm a little disturbed no one's here to defend this or say,
Right.
Why.
Or at least tell us what they,
How do we say no to the next person that comes in and wants their section of sidewalk plowed or their parking spaces plowed that we don't maintain?
Well, if they're town parking places, then I'd have to ask why they're not maintained.
they're,
There just isn't a lot of parking along there. It's never been requested.
But if they request it?
well, this is the area up there by La Chance's, that.
Right beside the river.
Yes.
Sidewalk,
And when
railing, river.
When I went by there today, I took a good hard look at it, and right now, you could park there if you wanted to, although there's a little bit of snow still there. It's not that deep. You could pull in and park there.
Do we plow the sidewalk there?
The
Yes, he
sidewalk-
does.
yes,
Dennis
he
does. Yes, he does.
Yes. The sidewalk's done.
Because that ends at the entrance to Riverfront Place.
Yeah.
Yep.
Coincidentally.
So,
And that's the other question, where is that sidewalk on our list of priorities?
Apparently, it's really, really, really low if we're not plowing them. Those parking places?
No, I meant the
Oh,
sidewalk.
Sorry.
well, I think the sidewalk gets done pretty much the same time the downtown gets done, because children do walk going towards the schools.
They wouldn't walk over there. There's no place to go.
Well,
They don't have to, but some do occasionally. I've seen people walk
Yeah.
along there.
yeah,
In the winter, where would they go?
they go up to the
Railroad
park and
Place.
then cut across.
They go from the park.
The railroad
Park isn't
tracks.
plowed.
Yeah, I know.
The main sidewalk,
have-
People still go there, look at some footprints.
Yeah, but I'm just alarmed because it's dangerous. They would have to cross Route 311. My granddaughter walks that route, so if I find out she's walking on that side of the street,
Yeah.
there's a problem, because they would then have to cross Route 311 to get to a plowed sidewalk.
right.
Because I don't think there is one. Is there one after Mill Street? I don't think so.
Right
No,
on that side of the road.
No, I think
gravel
that's
over
it.
there, yeah.
So without anybody here to defend what they've written, or whoever wrote it, and whoever signed it, what's the consensus?
Well, my other issue here is the owner of that property has developed parking on Mill Street
Right.
and has a sidewalk. So he's looking to the town to provide more parking for those businesses, when in fact, he's created more parking for those businesses.
In the summertime, do we allow him to use those spaces
Anybody
as
use-
parking.
as parking for his people?
Public parking.
public parking.
2-hour limit, but it's public parking.
Right.
Okay.
Anyone can park there.
The town has imposed restrictions. There are parking spots, and if we have requests to plow them, and it's not that big a thing, why don't we just plow them?
Are you going to plow up in Winnisquam when people want that cleared?
If it's
Sidewalk up
town,
there
if it's,
cleared?
if it's
We don't do the
town-
sidewalk up there?
If it's a town piece of property, and we have residents that want it kept open, we've gone through in this town that whole sidewalk thing, specifically the sidewalks, and what we're talking about really now is parking places.
There are sidewalks we don't plow.
Yeah, well, that's not what this here is about. This is about
What's the
parking
difference?
places.
What's the difference?
Well, you park cars in parking places,
And
and
you
you
use
park people
sidewalks to
on
get to
sidewalks.
post offices and stores.
Yeah, but I didn't see anything about sidewalks in this.
I'm just saying that will be coming.
Maybe.
But we do plow that sidewalk there.
Yeah.
We do the sidewalk.
But this is about parking places that are supposed to be town of Tilton parking places.
Okay, people, what's your poison?
I don't know what well, without somebody here to explain the need for this, I would hesitate.
I say no.
I'm not against it, but I'm not for it either.
Yeah, I really need someone to,
So why don't we table it? We'll send a note out, say if they would like to come and explain what it is that is, all of a sudden after all these years, they feel, yes, Catherine,
If there's a good reason, then we can talk about the reason.
right,
I
wait a
think that's a
minute.
great idea.
Catherine?
I called Mr. Cropsey this morning
Yes.
and asked him if someone was going to come to the meeting tonight to address this to the Board of Selectmen, and he said no, he wasn't told that. It's just notification to the board, and they could decide what they'd like to do.
Well, then I say we table it, if they're not willing to come and talk to us about it.
I was just curious, after 6 years, why,
Yeah,
or at least at the
more
beginning
than
of the winter, why no
Right.
one was saying, I don't see the precedent.
All right,
Yes.
table it.
I can't remember, as all the years I've lived here, I don't think I've ever,
Very good
Never
idea.
have I
Thank you,
seen that
Sandy.
plowed.
okay?
Next,
And Joyce, if he calls or anyone calls to find out how it went, you can just say, well, it was tabled, nobody was here to address the concerns with the selectmen.
okay, the next is, I need clarification from the Board of Selectmen. And I don't know why it doesn't appear I have enough copies here.
You want me to make copies?
What's it for?
Our trash ordinance. Oh, you know what? It was doing the same thing it was doing last night.
Only printed part of it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, this, yeah, we
I
do
will.
need copies of this, because this is, that's the trash part. But at least have that. 2, 3. So just 2 would be good.
Has Dan been out ice fishing?
He's getting ready for his, and snowmobiling, and getting ready for his trip to Australia and New Zealand.
Thank you, Joy.
Want to go with him? I do.
Yeah, very cool. Tell him I said hello.
That's Sandy.
I didn't know.
Did you get a chance over the weekend? When you were
We had that problem with
Saturday night?
Yeah.
that other thing, it just wouldn't pop into the phone.
Call Donna, I will.
I don't want to interrupt your day, so when you're free.
I will do that. Welcome.
As soon as that copy comes out, those 2 copies, I'll swap. Because my notes are on the front of it. And I'm almost done. My new, oh, look, here it is.
You found it?
Well, one of them anyway.
Well, here you go, you got
Okay.
3 more.
Yeah, I have Tim configured my new laptop, and, but it won't print to that printer.
Does anybody want anything from the coffee machine?
No, I don't think I do.
Nah, I'm not gonna, there's no coffee up here, it's all downstairs, and I'm not going.
Oh, there isn't.
There isn't any.
Okay, well, here's pictures. There's 2 places you want to pass it around. That's 822 and this is 1017. So this is what's formerly referred to as South Bay.
Yep.
And this is where the old post office used to be, where they moved it. The gentleman that called is a property manager, and he was very upset because the Best Way doesn't always pick up his trash. And he called Best Way, and Best Way said, call the town. So that's why he called me.
5 bags.
Yep.
Right, because what we need clarification is in his mind, the 822 Laconia Road property, he sees the residential units as being, as the cabins as being commercial, and the 4-unit house as being residential. Therefore, he can have 5 bags for the house and 5 bags for all those rental units.
Where are we?
822 Laconia Road, and the other
822.
is
Isn't that supposed to all be
1013 and
condos?
1015.
Well, yeah, but he never completed that, so all it is a cottage development there, like it always
Technically,
was.
it's commercial, all of
And
it.
it's all commercial.
That's what I need you to clarify.
His final approval
It's commercial,
Was never completed.
was not completed.
Right.
so it's still commercial.
So they're not
Dumpster.
condo units.
Dumpster.
By RSAs, he does not have condos yet because he did not complete the process.
But
So it is,
if they were that one building was condos that were individually owned, then he could have,
Nope, because the original, the condo agreement was non-seasonal dwelling units.
right,
So they're still not residential units.
right.
It's commercial, he needs,
it's
he
still
needs
It's
a
a
dumpster.
commercial entity. He's allowed
Yeah,
5
trash.
bags of garbage
for that whole thing.
for the whole thing.
This
Okay,
is
so
the next
a non-seasonal dwelling unit is not considered residential?
Right.
one. No.
A non-seasonal dwelling unit is not residential.
And
Okay.
he didn't complete the others, so he has nothing to, but he used to have he had a dumpster there for all those units. What happened to that?
Guessing he'd like to do away with the dumpster.
I guess he
I
better
would
get
like
it
to
back.
eliminate the cost.
But the thing of it is, he's got all those little cottage things along there, and that's a lot of trash.
It's gonna be more than 5
Sometimes it-
bags, I can tell you that.
Yeah, that's gonna be far more than 5 bags.
What
So it's
is-
like he needs his
What
dumpster
is
back.
this one?
1013 and 1015 Laconia Road.
That's what
One
the
is a house,
motorcycle shop.
and the other's the motorcycle shop, so it's
Yeah.
2 units on one parcel.
That's a mobile home that's behind there, isn't it? Yeah.
Are you talking about
Right by the bridge.
this beige line has thrown me off.
You see,
This used to be the Welch's.
in the store?
I know the
It's the
store.
ATV place.
Building
I know the
that's
store, that's,
residential, it's
That's
a
where the ATV
one-story
place, the old
ranch,
post
it's
office.
not
That's,
a mobile home.
Your post office.
Oh, well, it looks like a mobile home if
Yeah,
you look
sure.
at
What's
it.
his name, son?
I know,
Oh, what's his name?
I know.
You know what's the name?
but that's what we're talking
It's
about.
being assessed as
That's a commercial property.
as a
Correct.
regular
But where's the house?
house,
Behind
This
it.
one.
The trail
but
is
it's
behind it.
low, it's,
Trailer or something back there.
this is
Back
very
here.
low on
When did the
quality.
trailer get
Yeah.
put there?
It's always
It's not
been
there now.
So, yeah, it is under the
So
trees.
he's saying he's renting that out as
Always
a
been
dwelling?
As a dwelling. I don't know if it's seasonal or year-round. These are the.
What's he renting
two-
out as a dwelling?
These are the two
The
tax
house
cards
behind the
for
old post office.
1013 and
okay.
1015.
The old
you meant-
post office is that, like, maintenance that he maintains or does
ATVs.
mechanical, ATVs.
Yeah, I know exactly who the owner is.
Yes, we all do. And then the little house that's right behind there,
This one's my
originally
nephew.
he was using that as part of the business, but apparently now he's renting that out. To somebody's living in that.
So he feels he should be able to have 5 bags at the house and 5 bags at the business.
Well, that's
For a
one
total of
lot.
10 bags on that lot.
Well, if it's truly a resident, the one in the back, then I would say the resident can have trash. And you said Best Way was picking it up, but they just wouldn't pick up because the guy put out 7,
7,
right?
right.
And they only took 5.
Yeah, well,
So
they-
that's what they're going to do. So,
Okay.
Do you want to see the pictures?
well, I know it, I saw them earlier. So,
You guys have seen
I
it?
would say if it's truly a house, you know, I mean, someone's living there, then yes, they're allowed to put trash out, and it would be separate unless, I don't know what he's got going on there. Chances are the guy that lives there is the one that runs the business. But, I mean, not knowing, we have to assume that if that is a rent, you know, someone renting to live there, then yes, he can put his trash out, but only 5 bags. And-
So what we're talking about is this guy wants the ability to put 10
10
bags out
bags
there.
out there.
Yeah, 5 for the business and 5 for the dwelling.
And he's got that,
One,
And he's got that.
according to this ordinance.
Right.
And according to, Best Way was picking up, but the guy in the house put out 7 bags and they would only take 5.
Right, and he said they were little bags,
It doesn't matter.
tell him to get bigger bags.
so
Yeah,
I'm going to tell him. But we're clear then on 822,
Yeah.
though.
Tell him to recycle, he won't have 5 bags of garbage.
on
Be
822,
specific and tell him it's 5 33-gallon bags.
Easy solution.
He had
I'll tell
5
him.
33-gallon bags out, no matter how little those other ones were. They technically should not have picked them up. That's good, a best way to follow our ordinance.
Right,
Yeah.
and I'll make sure Best Way is made aware of this. Now, the other thing that this brings up another point, which kind of makes me happy, because it's not that often that I read our ordinance, and I just get really confused by, because I'm just not used to where commercial businesses can get their 5 bags picked up. But anyway, so we have a lot of commercial businesses all along Route 3 and 11 then, that if they put out their 5 bags, it's going to be picked up.
5 bags, yep.
Okay, so, because I'm thinking commercial, I'm thinking all our box stores, and they've got their dumpsters, and they take care of their own recyclables. So these businesses, these places then are going to be able to participate in the curbside recycling, because if they're going to be putting their trash out, they're got to be buying bags, so they're definitely going to want to try and recycle. So that's good, Joe.
Yep.
That will, I mean, these are numbers that, because I didn't count the commercial, any of the commercial businesses in with our residential numbers.
There
Right.
are a number of them.
yes, there are.
So this is good.
I think it's a good thing,
I
yeah.
own one of them.
I think that when we, no,
Catherine Dawson owns one of them.
Talk about some recycling possibilities.
but I think once we get this thing going, it would not hurt if the recycling committee, you've got some money in your budget, right? That we do a mailing, because I can sort out the mailing labels of all the commercial businesses and tell them what's going on.
Right,
It'd be good. Okay.
all right.
All right, that was an easy one. I'm almost done. You're being
I have a question
wonderful.
while we're talking about this littering ordinance. We talked about rewriting this so that the
Yep.
main street was not always in violation of this ordinance.
Right.
Right, but I still think, I think we ought to get together, and I think we ought to look into what it would cost all the property owners if we had a couple of dumpsters back in the back where everybody would share the dumpsters, so that we could get trash off the main street.
Because
So,
they're on the main street more than anybody. They're down there every day, and they have to look at that garbage and smell that garbage and
Are you
pick up
suggesting-
that garbage.
The town should pay for these dumpsters?
No, I think the property owner should pick up the cost.
You're supposed to have dumpsters anyway.
Well,
don't they?
then we should send them a letter saying, we're going to enforce this ordinance.
Right.
So if you're not going to adhere to the ordinance, then we suggest that you,
Well,
no,
I
it's
think
in our
Sandy was
contract.
implying we should walk around and ask about what they think about this.
well.
Yes, no?
We can have a public
We're running out
hearing,
of
but
time.
before we do, no, I'm not talking about this having anything to do with town meeting.
well, but
Oh, you mean
we
if
don't rewrite this for town meeting to accommodate the Main Street, then we have to enforce this. We can't keep
Right.
ignoring this.
But
We
this,
have to enforce it.
but I still think it would be to everyone, businesses, everyone's best interest, to get the garbage off Main Street. We put it behind, in the alleys, where we can, we'll put dumpsters so that they can be dumped.
Well, we won't, they will.
Yes, but I'm just saying,
We'll
and
allow
we
them
will,
to put them back.
whatever
We
the
will give
cost
them a
is,
spot.
That's right.
we will tell them where to put them, and whatever the cost is will be divided between all the property owners that have property on Main Street.
Right now, they can put their 5 containers out, and it gets picked up, and it doesn't cost them anything. It's in our contract with our waste hauler, our collection contract, that it has to be out at the curb at 7 on the day of collection.
Right.
So you want to rewrite the ordinance so that Main Street doesn't have to put it out at 7 o'clock?
You could just go back in the dumpster, and the dumpsters would be picked up on
I know,
Tuesday.
it was
or whatever.
suggested
All right.
earlier when we were
So I don't-
talking about
right.
this. I mean, my feeling has always been, we have an ordinance,
Yeah.
enforce the ordinance.
Right.
Their resolution is their resolution. I mean, after all, if I start putting out 10 bags of trash, then should we make an exception for me? No.
Oh, so you're saying that they're putting out too many bags,
No.
not the time they're putting them
They're
out?
putting
not
it out at the
adhering
wrong
to the
time.
ordinance as far
Okay,
as
but
the
The
time.
time is not in the ordinance. The time's not in the ordinance, that's why
They
the
can't
police
go out
can't
any
go.
later than a
Yes.
certain time.
Yeah, it is.
The time is in the ordinance?
Should
It
be.
says,
At the
Midnight.
scheduled time on the day of pickup.
no,
Midnight.
it has to be put out on the day of pickup.
would
Right.
be
They're putting
midnight.
it out the day before.
Okay, where do you see this?
I've read it before in here.
Which means if they go out at 12:01, on the curb it goes.
Well, I can appreciate that it's a problem. Most of them aren't coming in and opening the business till 9:30 in the morning, with the exception of a few. So obviously, by the time they get here to open their business, the trash men would have already been by.
The dumpster would eliminate the whole thing.
A dumpster would eliminate that. We can specify where they have to be.
You know what?
Put them in locations to where,
Joyce is
No
right.
sooner than the scheduled day of collection.
All right, what line are you on?
If you come from the bottom, it's the 1, 2, 3, 4th paragraph.
First sentence.
Items for collection.
Okay, see, it talks about empty trash containers.
The very first line
To be
says,
Empty items for collection for single-family as well as multifamily dwellings and commercial locations are to be placed in designated locations no sooner than the scheduled day of collection. Now, they're not putting it out Thursday morning, it's getting put out on Wednesday, and hence, that's
because
always
they
been the
come through
complaint.
so early on Thursday
Right.
morning.
So they're putting it out on Wednesday after they close their business. In fact, some of the trash is out there
Noon.
at noontime on Wednesday. And in the summer, by the time you get to Thursday morning, or
It's right.
or Wednesday evening, it's pretty bad.
yes, it is.
So that's why I'm saying.
Okay, right there, then no sooner than the schedule, you're absolutely right, Catherine.
Right.
Okay, well, then we need to enforce it.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I've always felt that way. I mean, this is the ordinance, enforce it. They need to find their own resolution, just like if I put out 10 bags of trash out front and they don't pick them up, then I need to resolve that. That's my issue.
It's your problem.
I have an ordinance. I mean, I think
Right.
every one of them should get a copy of the ordinance, say, here, we're going to be enforcing this.
Yep.
You know, we've been
Wednesday.
lax, we're enforcing it, here you go. And,
If they complain about it, then you say, well, why don't you and a couple of the other businesses go together and have a dumpster put in the back?
exactly,
Yeah,
and that we are willing, the town is willing to allow them to put it out back.
Yep.
We'll provide you with a space.
Yes.
Because we also have, on the south side, the other municipal parking lot.
Yep, and we can
Some
put
space
some over
there.
there. But I think that would be one of the best things we could do for the downtown. The issue
Yeah.
of garbage is always
Right.
being talked about.
So we have to enforce, and I'll tell you quite frankly, I've had conversations with two of our officers who sought me out, and they do not want to enforce this.
Well,
Right.
that's entirely too
They
bad.
feel it's unfair, so that's an issue.
Well,
It's
why don't,
unfair because they
They
can't
pick
put
up
it
at
out.
7 a.m.
I don't know, I quite frankly did not go there. I was,
well, part of the problem, if you ask Best Way to come later in the day, then the downtown gets bustling.
I understand that as well. The dumpsters out back are
I think
ideal,
it's
I
the
think.
ideal
I
way
think
to
your
handle
to solve
solution is
it.
perfect.
Yeah, but then
Only
we're
way.
paying twice for them.
No, we're not. They're going to pay for the dumpsters themselves. We're not going to pay for it.
That's up to them. I mean, the ordinance is the ordinance is the ordinance.
Yeah.
They can no longer put their trash out, the fine is in here. They can no longer put their trash out on Wednesday. It has to be put out the morning of collection.
Okay.
If they don't want to do that, then they're going to get fined.
Bottom line,
If they don't want to get fined, then they will find a resolution.
bottom
And
line.
if they choose to have a dumpster for convenience and pay that expense,
But
So be it.
we would give them a place to put
we
the
would allow,
dumpster.
Yes.
we would
Okay.
talk about it and give them a place.
All right. And
So-
where would we put the dumpster?
Well, we would find places in the back that we could have them, I would say, I don't know, 3 on each side. I don't know how many we would need. We'd have to talk to Best Way. I know right now that Tilton House of Pizza has their own dumpster. Polly's has their own dumpster, so there are already some out there. They have small dumpsters because it's just for their individual business. But if they all went together and, say, had 2 big dumpsters down at that end of town and 2
But
some...
where, when you say that end of town,
You know-
where?
I'm going to tell you dumpsters stink.
I know, they stink, they attract vermin.
They do attract vermin, but
Oh, hey,
there's
there's a dumpster. and
there's
they get out of
traps that
whatever-
go around them. I mean, everybody that has dumpsters has this issue.
Who's going to empty those traps?
The bottom line is,
And where,
either take care of your trash properly, get a dumpster, or we're gonna enforce it and you're
Let's
gonna be fined.
let's enforce the
That's
ordinance.
bottom line.
And deal with what comes after.
Well, fact is, this was adopted at town meeting, vote of the town. It's not
2001.
not a capricious thing, and we haven't been enforcing it, letter of the law, and so that's a shame on us.
Correct.
I can understand where this is going to make some people squirm around, but
Black and white, there it is.
it's right
I
there.
mean, it's just like right now, across the street, we have a place with mini apartments. And on the outside, they've got all these cans lined up in a row for all these apartments. And in the summertime, it absolutely gags you to walk by there. Now, if all this had to be taken to the back, and then the truck could just back up, dump the, and then go on, and from my understanding to talking with the person from Best Way, if your dumpster is in good condition and does not have holes around the bottom, you will not have rats and mice running around the bottom of it unless you start piling trash
That's
on the
not true.
outside. If they can get in, they will get in.
They will.
We're not climbing
If they
metal.
can get in.
what time does Best Way do Main Street?
It was like real early, like 7-ish. It was their first set of stops. But as I recall, in one of our many plethora of discussions that we've had in the past about this, they were requested to do it at 8, no earlier than 8. So
Okay.
exactly, did they go to that? I don't know.
Because most of those businesses open at 9?
Yeah.
That's correct.
Ollie's. So,
That's
You know, the other
correct.
thing we're not considering is too, they have an alternative. A lot of them aren't residents of Tilton.
Right,
They could take their trash home and put it out whenever their community,
right.
I mean, it's their trash. It may not have been generated in their community, but they own the
so
trash.
do we know who the offenders are?
Oh, yeah,
Most of them.
yeah.
There's a lot of garbage out there. I can tell you several places, but not every time. and
Yeah. They
it's
all
just
need
an
to be
Ongoing issue.
They all
There's
need
a
to be
lot of it.
notified,
Residential as well.
enforcing it, and a copy of the ordinance.
But there's a lot of issues too. How many times have you walked down and it's not even like they bundle it together?
Oh, it's, yeah.
It
It's
needs to
not,
be, well, when we get the pay-as-you-throw, and everybody's going to be using the same bags, the same 33-gallon bags.
That's correct.
All right, so put it into effect, send them a letter. We're gonna be enforcing it.
Yep.
If you want to come up with a solution, come up with a solution. Next.
Okay,
Okay,
that's good, thank you. Okay, this is, remember last week, the board agreed on the Northway Bank assessment, BTLA?
Yes.
These are the disposition forms that need to be signed. Lauren prepared them. And this is the copy of the report of settlement meeting in order and the settlement agreement. Want to start? I'm just having so much fun here. And the final thing is I did briefly speak with Don Carpenter on the Birch Hill contract. And I said, I haven't forgotten you. I said the board just wants to clarify some of the provisions in the contract. I said they're the same things that you had discussed with Catherine last year, and we wanted to know why you didn't incorporate them in this year's contract, and he was like, give me more information.
I knew he forgot. He's a great guy. Don's a
So
good
what's
guy.
the best way, because I don't want to hold him up, his payment, so what is the best way for us to sit down? Like maybe you and I, you can
Monday?
tell me what you want, and I can type it in and send it to him, drive by, drop it off?
Monday morning.
Okay? Yeah, because I know the board's in agreement with what you
Right.
said, but I just need to get it out of your head
Monday
and
morning.
onto the paper. Okay, and I'm done.
Okay.
Birch Hill Kennel, Monday morning, KDD. Yeah, that would make me feel good.
Is it just the top? Oh, no, it's a couple of them.
Yeah, there's 2 forms,
All right.
because there's 2 parcels.
Yep.
The actual settlement agreement, you don't have to sign, it's just the disposition of the deed.
Okay. Now,
I love solving these problems.
the to be signed,
Ran through a lot of them.
the to be signed folder here.
Nice job.
The Birch Hill agreement's in here, so you guys are going to resolve that when you,
On Monday.
on Monday, okay?
Is that the one I made notes on?
Well, Tim included, yes, the one you made notes on, and then he's redone it.
Well, here,
And-
I had made copies, so if, over the weekend.
Okay, so
When you're bored.
everything in here, then, one of them will be resolved after our non-public, so.
This was last year's, was this last year's?
No, this isn't the one I made notes
here,
in.
It's got last year's and this year's.
Yeah, last year's and this year's, they're exactly the same.
That's what I made notes on? Where's the
No,
one I made
the one
notes
that's
on?
in here,
Is the one I made notes on?
yes.
Could I have that?
Okay, and give these back.
Is this a copy? Or you said that Tim made a copy in it.
Well, that's the copy, and there's one in here that is identical to that one.
Okay, all right, that's what I wanted to
Other
know.
than the dates.
All right, perfect. I didn't want to take the only because I don't want to be
Oh,
responsible.
and this has to also be signed. This is, oh, this is a legal thing, you might want to.
And then just a quick non-public when
Yep.
you're done.
All right, then, I'm going to, why don't we start our selectmen reports? Joe, do you have anything for the board?
The only thing is, I was wondering if we'd ascertained who was throwing the salt in front of 3M.
Oh, I forgot to ask Dennis if he had looked into it.
Also, do you know anything, Joyce, about why the barriers haven't come down over on the causeway?
On the causeway?
Oh, you mean over here?
Yeah. Those barriers at the hole in the pavement are still there.
You can take them down anytime, everyone was notified.
And I talked to Dennis, and he said he was going to do it on a certain day, but it never got done. Just curious.
Do you have the legal thing? Are you reading it?
Okay. Anything else? Joe?
No.
Al? Do you have anything?
I sent some more letters out today for the signage. I've only had one response from the other one so far. Surprising. I'm taking care of that thing up on Andrews Road, as discussed last Thursday.
Okay.
Besides that, everything's running like clockwork.
Okay. Good, glad to hear it. Catherine?
Not a lot, except one thing. I noticed today that on the website, and actually, I didn't look in the annual report. Here. On the website, under elected officials, there's nothing listed for the sewer commissioners. They're not listed as employees, which is appropriate because they're elected officials. And I was curious as to why that would be.
More than likely, it just was something that got overlooked, I would imagine.
It is in the annual report, people serving Tilton.
Yeah. So we'll just let,
So we
Them
should,
know.
and I didn't see Johanna in there. There is, you can click on sewer and you go to their page, but they should be under elected officials, and Johanna should be under staff. Does everybody agree?
yeah,
Yeah.
Would you ask Tim to do that? And can we get emails and contact information like we do for the rest of us?
yeah, that's the one that went over, that
Thank
came from over there. Have anything else?
No, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, the only thing I have is the planning board did have a public hearing this week on the proposed changes that will be on the ballot. The public hearing went very well. This was our second public hearing. We will be putting a few things on the ballot this year, plus definitions that Catherine Dawson had submitted that will go along with her new ordinance. And they will also be more elaborate definitions, and those that are already in our zoning will be replaced by the new ones. So, you know, like the definition of like dwelling, we already have one, but it will change to match the one that she's given us. So anyway, the public hearing, although we didn't have a lot of people there, there was a lot of participation, and it went very well. So we're done with our public hearings now. We will get the questions ready for the ballot, and that's really all I have.
What did the planning board decide to do with the parking? To put it in? As it is a zoning?
The changes, yes, it's going in the
Good.
zoning, and there were changes as per all the public comments that we got. We did make some changes, and it will go into the zoning. They may eventually elaborate in site plan as
Sure.
far as dimensions and overall layout, things
You're
like
going to put that schedule in?
Yes.
I was at the planning board meeting, obviously, but that was, somebody did a lot of hard work. Who did that?
I did.
You did? Excellent. Very, I mean, it's very detailed. It's a long time coming. So needed. I should have guessed. Nice job.
Oh, there is one other thing in my world.
Okay.
Yesterday, I gave a bread-making class at the senior center.
Oh, nice.
What are you doing the next one?
I wish I'd known I'd have gone.
Sarah said that, well, I didn't know how she broadcast it, but there were 5 people there.
Yeah.
And we had a really good time with it. And check the senior center link on our website, because Sarah's going to set up another one in a month
Oh,
or
good.
so.
I'll watch for
Yesterday was real basic, a simple white bread recipe that you can do so many different ways. And we made lots of shapes and rolls and focaccia and whatever. And
Yeah.
I'm thinking we do like a grain bread, oatmeal or wheat or something next time, and then we'll do
sourdough?
non-gluten. Huh?
Do you do like a sourdough?
Yeah. I make bread like nobody's business. So, check the website, and when I
Okay.
get the word from Sarah what the day will be, I'll announce it here
Okay.
in this forum.
Good.
Which reminds me, Joe, I might have copied you on the email, the grease trap is in.
I didn't see it today.
Did you want to just look at it and make sure?
Yeah,
All right, it's in the selectman's office on the floor,
okay.
if you want to look at it.
Read what?
The legal?
Yes, I did. I did. Isn't that
Is
interesting?
this the bankruptcy one?
Yes.
So we'll be getting some money soon.
Yep.
It's a shame, but
Yeah,
It's a resolution.
don't wish
Okay.
bad on anybody,
Yeah,
but
that you don't have to sign, the settlement thing, that's all signed, just the disposition of abatement.
Do we have a 91A form?
that goes back to Joyce.
Here?
Joyce?
And then if you just give it back to me. I will. There's probably one somewhere around there.
Skip through this.
Okay.
Okay, do we have any other information to come before public? Nothing? Not hearing anything? I'm going to make a motion to go into non-public for the matters acted upon under RSA 91A for matters of discussion. E, and I'm going to say
Litigation and personnel.
personnel.
Second.
Roll call vote?
Yes.
Yes.
I would like to make a motion to seal the minutes of the non-public session as they pertain to personnel. No, I don't. Somebody else can make the motion.
I'll make a motion
Signed.
to seal the minutes of the non-public session as they pertain to personnel permanently and as they pertain to legal matters until such matters have been resolved.
My only question is Joe has a point, the motion itself, the discussion is definitely, should be sealed permanently.
Yeah.
But the motion itself, is there anything in there that's non-public information?
How can we bury that in non-public minutes?
No, the only thing that I'm concerned about is just a discussion about the individual herself.
Well, that
I think that
definitely
should
is
be
non-public.
non-public.
True enough.
But I think that the motion itself,
Okay, so all discussion about the individual herself and non-public will be sealed permanently. The conditions and
The motion should be made public, I think.
and the
if nothing
motion
else.
made as a result of that discussion, until the matter is resolved, I don't know how else you're going to put it. It would be,
How do you put that, Catherine?
the motion itself can be made part of the public minutes.
yes, the motion
January
itself.
24th.
The motion itself can be made part of the public
But
minutes.
nothing about that discussion.
No.
Correct.
No, the
all right,
discussion
that I'll go
itself
for.
is personnel, because we discussed more than one personnel
Go in and
per
listen to
employee.
that and just do the motion itself.
Leave out personnel.
Just the motion itself can be part of the public minutes.
I will second that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Okay?
I would second that.
All right. And so all those in favor?
Yes.
Aye. Okay. Now, is there any other business that needs to come before this board?
The only thing I'd like to say is I wish it was warmer. Oh, Saturday morning, plug for downtown, Saturday morning, the Blooming Iris is having a grand reopening. That sounds like an advertisement, but fact is, we have a change in the business structure down in that area, and at 9 AM, they're having their grand reopening, and I haven't looked inside, but come on down.
It hasn't changed owners.
It
Yes, it
did.
is.
It did?
It did. They're having the grand reopening Saturday at 9 AM.
What happened?
I don't know. It was such a great,
They retired.
it was
They've
such a
been
great
doing it for a
story.
long time. They
I'm
own
afraid.
They own the
liked
building.
it.
They own the building, so they've still got a presence downtown.
I liked their choices.
Hi, me too.
The choices won't change significantly.
Okay.
All right.
There's still going to be that kind of store.
I'm going to be
Because I
cautious.
talked with the owner, Heidi.
Well, if there's nothing else, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that. Yes?
Yes,
Yes.
Yeah.
it's unanimous, Catherine.
Okay, so everybody